He is known for being a French theologian, pastor, and reformer during the Protestant Reformation. He is recognized for his significant contributions to the development of Calvinism and its doctrines of predestination and God's sovereignty. His name is John Calvin. John Calvin, a French theologian and reformer, emerged as a key figure during the Protestant Reformation in Geneva. Known for his strong convictions and tireless advocacy, Calvin played a crucial role in shaping the system of Christian theology known as Calvinism. His doctrines, including the concept of predestination and the absolute sovereignty of God, influenced various Congregational, Reformed, and Presbyterian churches worldwide. Born in a time of religious turmoil, Calvin broke away from the Roman Catholic Church and sought refuge in Basel, Switzerland. In 1536, he published his groundbreaking work, The Institutes of the Christian Religion, which became a cornerstone of Reformation thought. Calvin's profound theological insights were accompanied by a remarkable intellect, as he produced commentaries on numerous biblical texts and engaged in theological debates. Despite facing opposition from the governing Council of Geneva, Calvin's vision for reform persevered. He was eventually invited back to lead the church in Geneva, where he introduced new forms of church governance and liturgy. However, his authority was not uncontested. In a controversial turn of events, Calvin played a role in the execution of Michael Servetus, a Spaniard accused of holding heretical views. This incident heightened tensions within the city, but Calvin's influence continued to grow. As time went on, Calvin's teachings spread throughout Europe, attracting a following of like-minded individuals who sought to advance the Reformation. Calvin's commitment to his beliefs remained steadfast until his final years. His legacy as a theologian, pastor, and reformer endures, as his ideas and doctrines continue to shape Christian thought and practice around the world. John Calvin, born as Johann Calvin, was a precocious child from a small town in France. His father, Gerard Calvin, had high hopes for Calvin and intended for him to become a priest. At a young age, Calvin showed great promise and was employed as a clerk by the bishop. He received a good education and studied Latin under the guidance of one of the greatest teachers of the time. However, Calvin's path took a turn when his father decided that he should study law instead of pursuing a career in the priesthood. Calvin enrolled in the University of Orleans and later moved to the University of Bourges to study law. It was during his time in Bourges that Calvin became intrigued by humanism, an intellectual movement that emphasized classical studies. He learned Koine Greek, which was necessary for studying the New Testament. There is some debate about the exact date of Calvin's religious conversion. Some argue that it happened around 1533, while others believe it occurred in late 1529 or early 1530. Regardless of the exact timing, Calvin's conversion marked a significant break from the Roman Catholic Church. He described his conversion as a sudden change of mind brought about by God, as well as a long process of inner turmoil and anguish. After receiving his licentiate in law, Calvin published his first book and returned to Paris. However, tensions were rising between the reformers and the conservative faculty members at the College Royal. Calvin's close friend, Nicolas Cop, delivered a speech advocating for reform in the church, which led to a strong backlash. Calvin was implicated in the offense and went into hiding, constantly on the move to avoid capture. Eventually, he was forced to flee France in the midst of the affair of the placards. Calvin's early life was marked by intellectual curiosity, religious transformation, and the challenges of navigating a changing religious landscape. His experiences shaped his philosophy and theology, leading to the development of Calvinism and his influential work, Institutes of the Christian Religion. His teachings emphasized the sovereignty of God, the depravity of humanity, and the importance of living a moral and disciplined life. The story of John Calvin's early life serves as a reminder that personal transformation and resilience in the face of adversity can shape our beliefs and philosophies. Calvin's journey from a young clerk to a renowned religious thinker demonstrates the power of self-reflection and the pursuit of knowledge. His philosophy continues to inspire individuals to find meaning and purpose in their daily lives, encouraging them to live with integrity and strive for a deeper understanding of their faith. John Calvin, the influential theologian and reformer, found himself at a crossroads in his life. In 1536, he published his renowned work, The Institutes of the Christian Religion, defending his faith and outlining the beliefs of the reformers. This book served as both a defense and a beginner's guide to Christianity. However, Calvin's journey took an unexpected turn. After publishing his work, Calvin traveled to Ferrara and then Paris, where he realized that there was no future for him in France due to religious tensions. Seeking refuge, he made his way to Strasbourg but was forced to detour to Geneva, a city in turmoil. It was here that he encountered William Farel, a fellow French reformer, who implored Calvin to stay and assist him in reforming the church in Geneva. Calvin, without hesitation, accepted this new role. Initially assigned the title of Reader, Calvin began giving expository lectures on the Bible. In 1537, he was selected to be a pastor, taking on duties such as baptisms, weddings, and church services. Together with Farel, Calvin presented their articles on reorganizing the church to the city council, which was accepted. However, as time went on, Calvin and Farel faced challenges. The council hesitated to enforce the subscription requirement to their confession of faith, and doubts about their loyalty arose due to their French origins. Additionally, a dispute arose when the city of Bern proposed changes to church ceremonies, which Calvin and Farel resisted. The council ordered them to use unleavened bread for the Eucharist, leading to their protest and subsequent expulsion from Geneva. Undeterred, Calvin and Farel sought resolution by appealing to Bern and Zurich. The resulting synod in Zurich placed much of the blame on Calvin for not being sympathetic enough towards the people of Geneva. Despite this setback, they remained determined. John Calvin found himself in Strasbourg, a city where he ministered to a diverse congregation. Moving from one church to another, he tirelessly preached and lectured, delivering sermons and teachings on a daily basis. His church consisted of around 400 to 500 members, and Calvin encouraged them to engage in congregational singing of the Psalms. During this time, Calvin also devoted himself to the revision of his seminal work, the Institutes. Dissatisfied with its original structure as a catechism, he decided to present the main doctrines systematically, drawing directly from the Bible. The second edition, published in 1539, expanded the book from 6 chapters to 17, becoming a comprehensive guide to Christian beliefs. In addition to the Institutes, Calvin worked on another significant publication, the Commentary on Romans. This commentary, published in 1540, showcased his meticulous approach to biblical exegesis and exposition. Calvin's dedication to his work was evident as he praised the contributions of his predecessors while distinguishing his own insights. Despite his friends' urging, Calvin initially resisted the idea of marriage. However, he eventually married Idelette de Bourret, a widow with 2 children, in August 1540. This union proved to be a source of stability and companionship for Calvin, who had previously expressed reservations about marriage. Meanwhile, Geneva was undergoing changes that would lead to Calvin's return. Church attendance had declined, and political tensions with Bern had strained relations. When Cardinal Jacopo Sadoleto sent a letter inviting Geneva to return to the Catholic faith, the city council sought an authority to respond on their behalf. Calvin, reluctantly accepting the task, composed the Responsio ad Sadoletum, passionately defending Geneva's reforms. In September 1540, the council commissioned Ami Perrin to find a way to recall Calvin to Geneva. Calvin, receiving the news while attending a religious conference in Worms, expressed his horror at the idea. However, he acknowledged the Lord's calling and agreed to visit Geneva alongside Pierre Viret and Martin Bucer. By mid-1541, Strasbourg decided to lend Calvin to Geneva for a period of 6 months. Calvin returned to Geneva on September 13, 1541, accompanied by his family. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in his life, where he would leave an indelible impact on the city and shape the course of Reformed theology.
Do you want to explore more philosophers? Who do you want to see featured next? Subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know. I'll see you in the next video.